Yes, so my name is Sarah Higgins. I'm a former HR director, a fellow of the CIPD. I still am, and I actually still assess with the CIPD for HR professionals, so it's still very much part of my life. And that is me as a baby. I want to share with you a bit of a snippet into my relationship with love and fear and how it changed my life. And the boxes represent fear, closed off, worry, doubt, guilt. Apparently I rolled off that table, by the way, after that photo was taken. So I obviously didn't have much fear when I was born. So yes, this is me. That's my book, Power of Love Leadership. These are my values. So I'm really passionate about enabling people to be at their best, but in order to achieve great performance. So it's all about getting the great results for me, but actually helping the human that gets the results. That's my model, Power of Love Leadership. I'll take you back to 2012. So 2012, I'd created this model. I was using it very happily with my coaching leaders, clients. But I had a broken heart because I had 3 consecutive miscarriages. I had a little girl, but then had 3 miscarriages. And I got bit by a dog. You might wonder why that dog was there. And my coach said to me, it's anger turned within. And I had a realisation that my model with humility, compassion, enthusiasm, hope, gratitude, forgiveness and learning, I needed to use it in my own life. So I set about using it, and this is my story of all of the different strategies and how I used them. So I had to realise that humility means we're not robots, we're not perfect. We have weaknesses, we have vulnerabilities, we have things that we can't do. And therefore, why don't we actually own up to those, look at those, what they are? And I needed to open myself up and see what was going on inside me, what were my fears, where was this anger coming from? And this represents the fact that, vulnerability and humility. Vulnerability is the first thing I look for in you, but it's the last thing you want to show me. And we need it to trust each other. It's the foundation of every relationship we will ever have in our life. Compassion. Compassion is something that we are actually hardwired to do for each other in our brains, but somehow we put up these walls and we can't see past them. And I had to find a door. One of the things I forgot to tell you was that my husband said he didn't want to try again. And I had to find a doorway through to work with him and find out why and understand, because that was what was also making me feel unhappy and angry. So compassion is finding those things that kind of make you feel happy and being curious about why someone else is behaving the way they are, not making assumptions, because we are very good at making assumptions about why people behave in the way they do. Enthusiasm is about finding what brings you joy. What is it that fuels you? And absolutely do loads more of it. I had to find a way in which a family of 3 would be a big, massive family, because that's all I'd ever wanted. And I had to realise that that could still be everything I'd ever wanted. Enthusiasm is about then finding what brings you joy and what refuels you, but it's also about understanding your strengths. And we've had some lovely speakers this evening telling us about understanding and knowing who you are and what your strengths are, but also finding out the strengths of the people around you and making sure that you can share those with each other, which is what we've been doing this evening. So hope is about actually having goals. But what I learned was that sometimes you've got to just flipping well adapt those goals because they're not working. You need to change. You need to find a different way. And hope is also about having a very clear kind of destination of where you want to be. But the thing that I've always found that kind of gets in the way of that is that we don't chunk down those goals enough. So this elephant is about that joke, which is a horrible joke, which is how do you eat an elephant? You have to eat it in bite size. It's the same with our goals, and we don't have bite-sized goals enough. With forgiveness, what I found was that it was really hard to forgive myself and forgive my husband when I was so flipping angry. I was so sad and angry, and I realised that forgiveness is such a beautiful thing, but you have to get over it. Nelson Mandela said when he came out of prison that if he didn't forgive the people that put him in prison, he would be in prison for the rest of his life. And so forgiveness is about thinking, what is that baggage that we're carrying around with us? How much are we carrying around with us? Because otherwise we cannot move on unless we leave it behind. And for once, I finished my slide early. And this is gratitude. So gratitude, you know that picture of the cat? It actually said to me, God, this is a mindfulness moment. Those two beings are together as one. And I found when my daughter was little and I'd had these miscarriages, I wasn't present with her, wasn't present with myself. And I had to find a way of doing that. And what I also realised was that I was focusing on what I was missing and I wasn't focused on what I had. And so gratitude is about that. And gratitude is also about showing our appreciation to people. I think we think that perhaps buying people gifts or spending money is a way of showing gratitude, but actually it's about being with people. And finally, this strategy is about learning. So for me, what I learned the most through that particular journey I had was that it takes time to change ourselves. It takes time to work on ourselves. And that lion represents fear. It's wild. Fear is there to protect us, it's there to help us, but it's also wild and we have to tame it. And learning is also about learning. Winning is not about, life is not about winning, it's about learning. So I love I'm a bit of a fan of Nelson Mandela quotes, but he said, I never lose because I only win or learn. And so Power of Love Leadership and the model that I created to help my leaders actually turned into a way in which it changed my life, which then led to me writing my book. But it's been such a meaningful part of my journey and my family and my daughter, who's now 16. Sorry. Thank you. And so in order to be the best version of yourselves and to work with others in the best possible way, we have to be able to embrace more love and less fear. Thank you.